Hey, we're going to make some chicken and dumplings here. We're going to do, we usually don't measure anything when I'm making mine, but for this purpose here, I'll measure some out. But about 3 cups of flour, and then we'll just add milk till we get the right consistency. Let's start out with a cup of milk. We'll just see how that blends up. Some people use water, some people use broth. I've always used milk. It seems to be what I like to do the best. There's about 1.5 cups right there. Let's see how that works. Well, it's a little bit dry. We'll get a little bit more milk. Get another cup of milk here. Still a little bit dry for me. And a little bit more. If you get them too wet, it doesn't matter because you're going to need them out on the table anyway. So it'll take up any other moisture that you've got. Kind of like real thick biscuit dough. You want to do while I'm doing this, I got my broth. I cooked my chicken the day before, so I've got my broth boiling. We'll bring it up to a rapid boil. So you can do that while you're rolling out your dumplings. Like I say, I usually make a big batch when I make mine. I can't make a small batch of dumplings because they never go to waste. Just fold the edges in. Keep working around in a circle. I'm going to have to cut the video right there because I'm going to have to.
Recording.
Alright, I'll show you how I roll my dough out. Flour up your table and then just roll them out. It's going to be a pretty good size by the time you get done. So you want to have a very good sized table with it. And if you get little rips in it, like it doesn't matter. It's all going to be dumplings anyway. Get it out about halfway done to keep it from sticking to the table so much. And just pull it out and flour the back side of it. Keep it from sticking. Doesn't hurt it if it messes up because you're gonna roll it back out again anyway. And I use, you can use any flour. Plain flour is really the best because that way it doesn't rise. But this time I've got self-rising flour. And if you use the self-rising flour, just roll it out thinner. Because if you don't, it'd be like eating biscuits instead of dumplings. If you're going to do that, you just might as well use, some people use a can of biscuits. But I like the homemade way. This seems to be better. Alright, we're done with that. And our broth is in a rapid boil, so we are good to go. And I'll go ahead and start cutting these dumplings now. And I just use my 2 fingers, and that's the width of my dumplings. If they happen, some of them gets a little crazy, it doesn't hurt. Do them however you want to do them. Because if they're not perfect, it makes them taste better.
Record.
Alright, just about done cutting these dumplings up. We'll get ready and drop some of them in the pan here.
Stop. Okay, now.
The way my mama showed me how to do them, just drop them in, usually about the length of your hand. If you get one a little longer, you just break them in half, and they'll start floating to the top immediately, and you don't have to worry about that until you start getting a whole bunch of them in there to where they won't sink. You want them to sink the second that you drop them in there. And then you start getting the long ones like this. I just pull them up in between my fingers like that, and then as I'm pulling them, break them off like that and drop them in. Or you can do a whole long strip. Of course, after you do them about 10,000 times, it's like second nature. I usually find a place where it's bubbling up at, and that's where I'll drop them in at, because that's usually got like a little hole down in the broth. And that way you don't have to worry about stirring them. Not till you get a bunch of them going. Oops, that broke on me, but that's alright. And they'll foam up for a while, and that's the flour in there that they kind of like make a gravy once they start to settle down. But I'll leave them on a boil until I get them all on. And once I get all of them in there, then I turn mine down to just a simmer, because there's nothing worse than getting a dumpling stuck on the bottom of the pan and it burned, because it ruins the whole freaking pot, and you can't get the burn taste out. Once you get burn taste in it, you can't get it out. So I learned a long time ago, I usually try to keep them on low or like a medium, and some people might be able to do it, but I can't. The damn things burn on me every time. So as soon as I get them all in, I'll stir them around a little bit, add my chicken, and then I'll turn them down as low as I can get them, and then let them set with the lid on it, and they'll usually cook about 45 minutes to an hour. And dumplings like these, you can tell when they're done is they'll get almost a transparency to them. They won't be white, they'll be more transparent, and that's how you know that they're done. Let me get the rest of these in here. You'll see we're going to have a big old pot of dumplings here. As soon as I'm putting them in, they're still sinking down in there, so we don't have to stir them yet. If you get some wide ones like that, just break them a little bit more shallow. A little shorter and they'll be just fine. Another thing, if sometimes, like if you get some that's thin like this, that's what you want. As I come up here, you'll see that they're got a little thicker right there. Don't have to sweat it. What you do is when you start to pull them, you'll stretch them a little bit and that'll thin them back out. So that way you don't have one as thick as a biscuit in there. You see they're starting to lay on top, so I just want to dunk them down in there. I'm going to turn this back just a little bit, because when they start to cook, they'll sink to the bottom like a rock, and that's where you get the danger of them sticking on the bottom and burning. So right now they're all floating, so you don't have any problem with them burning while you're putting them in the pot. I think for this pot here, that should be about enough. Really soak up that juice. And I can feel down in there I've got about that much juice. It's down below. There. Turn them down as low as you can go and let them sit. Chicken. Put them in there. broth in there. Look at that. And just mash it down on the top. I won't even stir it. Just mash it down on top. Lets the dumplings soak up all the juice. We'll put a top on it. Turn it all the way down low. Crack it for a little bit for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll set it all the way down on top and let it finish cooking. Stir it just about every 15 minutes. Get in there and make sure it hadn't stuck on the bottom. But that's about it. Get to crack-a-lacking. Alright, now we got all of our dumplings cooked, and here we go. Got a good old bite here with some meat and some dumplings. Make you want to smack your granny.
I think